Before we start, Kevin, Geo Parsons told me to grill you in this interview, but he sends his best.
That's great. That's awesome.
I let him know that I was chatting with you.
Oh, that's great.
Well, thank you both for being here. The Accursed, such a fun horror movie, in my opinion. Mena, mainly because your performance was so uncomfortable but impactful. So I definitely want to ask you about that. But Kevin, I want to start with The Accursed is very different from your previous film, from Willy's Wonderland, the comedic horror of that. What drew you to this story?
I mean, I just love the whole characters. I love the whole themes of you know what these women are going through. You know, my mom lives with us. She's 91. We take care of her. The Ambrose connection, all that. Alma, the idea of the sins of the mothers or a visit on their daughters. It just really appealed to me. And that first 7 pages of that script, I was like, wow, this is its own, you know, movie to itself. So I just really, and I want to do something different from Willy's. You know, I want to do a little more harder edged horror. I think that's more kind of where I lie, you know. So I want to do a little bit more kind of work with the characters and really get into the weeds with them. And lovely Mena here, I mean, we hit it off, and it was just so awesome when we talked about the character and everything. And she said she wanted to go for it, and I was so excited that she did, and she did such a fantastic job.
Yeah, Mena, it was a very interesting character for you, and it's not the first time you've done horror, but you know, it is a sinister character that kind of gets unveiled throughout the film. What drew you to this role?
First of all, I'm really sorry because there's construction outside, so I hope you can
hear me.
I'll do my best. Do you want me to speak up or repeat myself? God, I mean, I feel like so much of what you said, I mean, I feel like there's things that all kind of line up, you know? And aside from everybody involved and Kevin and his fantastic artistry, I felt like Alma was someone that I'd never really played before. And right away, for me, I felt like I saw like the allusions to a lot of my favorite horror films. And I'm not going to lie, there was just an excitement to be a part of that. I remember asking Kevin, you know, oh, wow, you know, we're really going to go there, you know. I was a little nervous about it for myself, but that was also incredibly exciting for me. I really don't know why. I've always just loved this genre, especially the supernatural element. And it just, from the very beginning, it was just fun. I got to go into oh God, this was oh God, I'm getting it wrong. The School of Effects here, right? Is that the proper name of it?
Cinema Makeup School.
Cinema Makeup School. We got to go in and we did head cast. I got to see all of the pieces that they were making for the demon. Like, so other than my love for the story and Alma, it was just this whole world I was really excited to just be a part of.
Yeah, and seeing the behind the scenes of how all that's done has to be pretty neat. You mentioned the nerves in playing this type of role. I mean, she's a sinister, terrifying character. How do you get in the right headset or mindset to do so?
So I feel like it's a very organic process. Like there's only so much that I can take from, you know, reading the story and reading about Alma and, you know, and where they're coming from and where they're going. But for me personally, when I get to the location, when I get to meet the rest of our crew, when I get to experience what our costumer has been thinking, what I get to see what the hair and makeup has been thinking, and especially with this character, I'm not going to lie, because I try to be very open. When I saw what they wanted Alma to wear with these stripes and this kind of like, you know, little, you know, suspender outfit, that as an actor gives me a huge amount of information. There's a huge impression that's felt upon me. And so it's an organic process and unfolding. I really just kind of go with it. And it just really spoke to me. I just had this idea of, okay, how I saw her, very kind of like neat and tied up and put together, and everything has to be in order. And that's why when Beth comes into the picture, she absolutely loses her mind, because you know, it has to go this way. So it's sort of all of that. It's a mix of everybody, you know?
Yeah. The first time you pop on screen, immediately I was like, oh no, something's up with her. Something's going on there. Kevin, Mena mentioned films of the past, horror films of the past. Any horror films that influence your approach to The Accursed?
Oh yeah, for sure. The Changeling, I love that movie. The Omen, Rosemary's Baby, all those great just 70s psychological horror films. You know, that really was what I was kind of, you know, was in my heart when I was making this film. Yeah.
That's excellent. And the film tackles some pretty serious topics and themes. So guilt, grief, generational trauma and abuse.
Yeah.
Why were these topics and themes that you wanted to tackle?
You know, I've got kids. I've got 4 kids, and I just see, like, I've been thinking about legacy and generation, and then my family history and things. And I just felt like, you know, there's great things that we teach our kids, you know, and we're kind of stewards to our children. But at the end of the day, they have to make their own way. And I always tell my kids, you know, I don't want you to make the same mistakes I did. You're going to make your own mistakes, but here's, you know, the top 10 mistakes I did, and here's what not to do, you know? And what I liked about the script, though, is that it showed that the new generation, the Sadies, the Ellys, they're on a path of becoming their mothers, repeating the mistakes. And so, and Alma's, and I just, Alma especially, and I just really like that theme, that it's like history will teach us nothing. You know, that's that Sting song. Kept thinking about that song when I was making this film. And it's just that, you know, we have to learn from our mistakes and right the wrong for the generation. I think now too, with what's going on, things, you know, it's getting a lot better, right? People are looking back on things we did in the past. And it's so funny because, like, my daughter came in the other day, we were watching Swingers, and you got Vince Vaughn going, beautiful babies. And she goes, oh, Dad, that'd be canceled. You know, and it's just like, that's so funny. But it's like, it's true. And it's just like, it's just so different, you know, our generations and the way things have changed and looked at. And that's what I liked about the script. It was just this generational trauma, and that things have to be, because she says, even Mary Lynn says, you know, you don't have a daughter, they're turn into you, you know, and that really spoke to me in this script, you know.
Well, and they're themes that are forever relevant. They're never going away. Someone's always dealing with them. So it's really great to see it tackled in such a unique way in The Accursed. Before we end, I have to ask Mena, we've seen a lot from you in the past, comedy, horror, jumping around. What's next for you?
I have a film called Breakwater that's coming out soon, and I worked on Reagan. I got to play Jane Weinman, so that'll be coming out. I feel like there's something else that I can't remember right now. Yeah.
All a blur.
Yeah. Well, they all come out at like all these different times, and it's like,
that's a good thing.
I don't know what's coming out when, but no, I'm just, I'm really excited. I try to live in the gratitude. It's fun for me that I get to play, you know, real life historical figures, and then I get to play like in this genre. You know, it's pretty awesome. So
yeah, that's great. Kevin, same to you. Are you sticking with the horror genre?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a film called Oak that I'm in post-production on right now. It's kind of a Nightmare on Elm Street, It Follows vibe to it. It's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, I mean, I love horror. Horror is great drama, right? So I love great stories and great characters, you know, and stories about the human condition really excite me. And I think that you can tell that through horror, right? You know, you can entertain people, but also kind of give them a message. And that's what I like about The Accursed. I think that it's you know, horror movie, definitely, but there's a lot going on. And if you really stop to think about it, it's one of these movies that I wanted to do back in the day, where you go to the Lemley, you know, and you'd have, you know, see a film, and you come and have, like, I call them coffee shop movies, because you go to the coffee shop and talk about them and everything. And movies have become so kind of, you know, solitaire now, right? Like, they're just kind of individual because we just stream them, you know. And then so it'd be great for people to talk about The Accursed with their friends and stuff, and just about the themes and things like that, and kind of reflect on their own life and maybe get something out of it. So yeah.
That's excellent. Movies that make me think even days after I've viewed them I think are the best experiences. So I thank you for that with this. And thank you both for taking the time today. It's so great when you get to talk with people that are just so easy to go back and forth with about the film, and you're very forthcoming about it all. And I just wish you the best with The Accursed.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.